It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah.
We're enjoying this Texas weather outside again because Texas weather is bipolar. Last week it was hot. Then a couple days ago it was freezing cold. And
And the allergies are going crazy right
Allergy.
now.
Mhm.
What? Stop talking too much when we're talking. You be quiet, okay?
We need a third microphone. That's what we need.
I think that's why we don't have a third microphone. Anyways, we're
Yeah.
so
For
excited.
our viewers' benefit, you know,
Exactly.
they don't need to hear all three of us.
And you're so loud on the mic, anyways. So maybe you don't need a mic at all through this whole entire
It's a lot,
podcast.
okay?
Turn that knee.
Wow. The coffee is hitting this morning.
Yes, it is. For those of you who are listening and not on YouTube, so whether that's through podcast, Spotify, we are out here and we do have our coffee with us this morning. We had to wake up pretty early because we have our, like we said earlier, we have our barbecue today. So we're planning, we're getting everything together. It's so fun doing it, and especially when I have my sisters with me, so we can plan it all together. We delegate. You do this, you do this, and Kim decided to bless us with our coffee this morning. So we didn't. That's something that was off our list, and it's already hitting her. Okay, so she's acting a little strange this morning. And I don't know whether to blame it on the pregnancy or the coffee.
Coffee, definitely.
Or-
Coffee and lack of sleep.
Definitely lack of sleep.
Watching K dramas, maybe. I'm just
We
kidding.
were up late last night.
Yes.
We were up a little late last night, so guys, just excuse her please for today.
Speaking of Kim, we know that we've talked about this previously in our episodes, but Kim is, wow, she has a lot of energy this morning. She is going to have this beautiful baby boy at the end of May or even the beginning of June, depending on when he decides to show up. Yes. And so it got me thinking about the first time we became moms. Anna, since you're the first one to have a baby, how is it adjusting to motherhood? Did you have any of the, they call it baby blues or any postpartum
Baby blues.
feelings?
A cute little name for a horrible time in my life. I'm just kidding. So I guess let's take it back to the beginning. When I was young, when I gave birth to my oldest, I did not know much about well, not just motherhood, but the things that happen after you give birth. I think when you're pregnant, you're so focused on your baby, growing your baby well, having a healthy delivery. You look into all those things, and then for me, speaking for myself, that and then you just forget about the aftercare, and taking care of yourself after birth, and speaking on the mentally, you forget that your body has just went through growing this baby and all these extra hormones and then losing all these hormones, and your body's just up and down. And so of course it's going to take a toll on you mentally, not just physically. It does take a toll on you physically, but imagine that also mentally, that you know more about
Right.
what,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. All those hormonal
yeah, the
changes.
hormonal changes.
Mhm.
So it did affect me, especially with my oldest. I remember because I had her and it was an emergency, I didn't get to experience her birth. I didn't even know the gender of the baby. So we went to the appointment. Long story short, the appointment turned into me having to go to labor and delivery. And all I remember is going to sleep, waking up, and there's a baby there.
Okay, sorry. We had to stop recording and just check on the mics real quick. Technical difficulties, of course. So let's carry on. So, like I was saying, I saw this little baby come in the room, and I knew for sure that this baby belonged to me. Um, like I said, you assume that those feelings come naturally as a mother. You automatically the feelings of the love and the nurture, and this baby belongs to me, and all the warm fuzzy feelings. I don't know if it's whether I was under a lot of drugs already and I'm fighting for my life that I didn't automatically feel these things, or that I didn't get to have that skin to skin time, and be conscious during the skin to skin time. I was really drowsy in and out. So a lot of that time is a blur with my oldest, with that pregnancy. When I went home, of course, it only became harder because now I'm left to be on my own. No, I have my family, but now it's real. This baby's coming home with me. I came here without a little baby, and I'm leaving home with a whole responsibility, a whole child. And now I'm learning, her name, the gender, and all of these things I'm being introduced to my baby for the first time. Everyone has already met her. You know, my husband is fallen in love with her. He immediately, like, all the things I thought was gonna happen with me, it happened with him. He immediately was just he that was his whole life. As soon as we had our daughter, it was his whole life. He changed his screensaver picture, his wallpaper on his phone, like everything. She took over his whole world. And so when she came home, it took me some time to adjust because I didn't understand. I was having that internal conflict because I was also upset with my own self that I didn't feel that way immediately, that it was taking me some time to get to know her and get into my mom era, you know? And it's funny because I was telling my husband the feelings that I had, and I said, I don't know, I feel I have everything in the world that I want, but I don't feel happy. I feel sad. And there's no reason to be sad. I don't know why I'm sad. I don't know why I'm crying. And because I feel like this, I cannot fully devote myself to this little baby. It was just making me mad. So now I'm angry. Now I'm upset. And it's just a bunch of feelings, negative.
Yes, and that's something that I learned eventually is that there's something called postpartum rage, and that comes from all those feelings that you just described.
I just learned it just now.
Yes.
I just learned that right now in this moment. Postpartum rage.
Yes, and so it's a real thing. And what were some things? Because I know at this time, Kim, you and I, we were younger, so we couldn't support Anna in the ways that I would love to support a mom now. Knowing all the things that I know now, experiencing all these things, I'm able to see, okay, this is the best way that you can support a mom in postpartum. So what was something for you, or did you have
Right.
any support like that?
Right. I think the best thing is because once when we were in the hospital, we were given so much information because the hospital staff knew that we were first time parents. So they give you brochures and they give you phone numbers and things, if you can contact. They even give you and let you know that they have breastfeeding support, everything that you need in order to start this new journey. So while I was going through that, I didn't know my husband, with all that downtime, was reading these brochures and reading these pamphlets and reading these pamphlets and these, informational things that he was receiving from the hospital. And when I was telling him the feelings that I had, he was the one who said, it was so funny because he was like, he put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, I read that. And he showed me, he pulled up the little foldable little pamphlet and he showed me, and he said, that's what you're feeling. And everything I would tell him, he would point to it and say, that's you, that's you. And so I think that it's funny because he's the one who actually made me aware that, hey, that's okay that you're feeling that way. That's perfectly normal. And he was the one who's going step by step, like, you're supposed to feel that way. And that's okay. And he even told me, like, I don't know how to take you out of it, but I can tell you that you're perfectly okay. You're not, in this new crisis. You're not having your body is doing what it's doing, and that's okay. And so just knowing that was kind of what brought me back on track. Like, oh, this too shall pass,
Especially knowing that from hearing that from your own husband as well, and that's great that Ben understood that and read that. And that's another great thing is that you get those resources if you're birthing in a hospital, whether it's out of hospital birth, you get those resources. And it's so important to read those things. So thankfully he was able to stand in that space for you and say, hey, you know what? Those feelings are valid and it's okay. This too shall pass, which I think that's a great thing to hold on to when you're in that funk of, all those hormonal changes. And then not only that, but going from being just a person, like just a woman, a married woman or woman in general, then now going into motherhood. Like that's a whole new ball game. It's gonna take adjustment. We talked about in our earlier podcast about change, and sometimes change is gonna be uncomfortable. And so, Kim, Anna, did you have anything else you wanted to share before I ask Kim some questions? Sorry, guys. Again, we only have one mic, so it's kind of hard to know, like, okay, who wants to speak? Yes. So just bear with us on this episode.
Yeah, so that was the most helpful thing, was that, that's why it's so important to make sure that you know the person that you want to do life with, that you know the person that you want to be the father of your children, the mother of your children, because they really do, whenever you're down, they really hold you down. They're the ones that really got you 10 toes down, like, hey, you know what, you're going through this, I see you, and this is what I may not know everything, but this is what I know, and this is how I can help you. So that was really helpful for him to come alongside me like that, and to show me that it's okay to feel that way, and this moment that you're feeling right now, you will get past it, and then you can join me in the celebration of our baby, this new life. And in the beginning, I even felt a little bit like jealous of their relationship, because I was like, wow, how well, I was more jealous that he could just be so open and loving like that, and I had to take this time to adjust and get my body, regulate all my emotions and things, and it just felt like unfair, which is so silly to think about now, but in that moment you really do feel like that, and it's crazy if you've never experienced it. But postpartum is depression is a real thing, and the best thing about it is to know that that's okay. It's okay, you're feeling like that, it will pass. Your body's supposed to, because you've been through such a huge thing, especially like big, a drastic change, especially having her with the emergency C-section, and your body's just shocked with all the things that have happened. So definitely having a great that support in your partner, in your lifetime partner, having that support, A1. Yeah. So Kim, I know that you said that, well, we'll pass this over to Kim, about the funk and just feeling all of that as a first time mother. Did you go through that? What were the things that you did to get out of that, if any?
Yeah, so with as we know with Aki, she is our rainbow baby after the twins lost, and I did share the story on a podcast episode about the twins. But with Aki, she definitely having her was just because of the already having the loss. So once she came, I was just fully prepared to take on that role. I was just overwhelmed with joy and gratitude that I was able to have my child here on earth with me. So with her, it was definitely, I would say it was a breeze, which I know a lot of moms I talk to, first time moms, they're the first one's not, but the second one is. But it's funny because my first one was a breeze, but my second one, or my third pregnancy, but my second here on earth, Anna, that was the one where I really went through postpartum, and that's when I learned what it was called, which was from Sally, actually, because then Sally gave birth to Samson. And I remember then I had Anna, and I just remember feeling these feelings. And, Sally's very into birth and well educated, like, okay, let me look this up. What is this? What is this? So she was like, maybe you could go through postpartum. I was like, I don't know. Like, I've heard of it, but I don't really know what that means, until everything I was feeling was fitting into the postpartum category. And just it was a really hard transition, like with yours, with Bulisi, you almost, it was either life or death. That was the same thing with me and Anna when I gave birth to her, and just not having that time, like the whole 24 hours that she was born. Like I was out of it, and it was Anna that was doing the skin time, like taking care of her, because I couldn't even hold her. Like I couldn't, I was out. And I just remember, like, after that moment, trying to bond with her was really hard. It was really, really hard for me to bond with her. And I couldn't understand why, just because the transition with Aki, my oldest daughter, was such a smooth transition that, yeah, and it was a C-section. It was such a smooth transition that when I had Anna, and that she came so fast, that I ended up having her naturally, and not having that skin to skin time, and just feeling like I missed out. It's the same thing with you and Felicia. Like, you woke up and she's there. Like, that's like, I remember she came, and I just shoot, everything, the lights were out, and then a whole day later, that's when I was finally coming to. And it was really, really hard for me. And I just remember that time just feeling like, I felt like something was wrong with me. I felt like, like, why am I feeling like this? Like, I'm a mom, and this is my second daughter. Like, I should know how to do this thing. Like, I've done it already. Like, what's going on? Like, all my emotions were everywhere. my feelings. I couldn't understand what exactly or pinpoint like why am I feeling this way and not knowing that this is a real thing. The postpartum is a real thing. And I remember, going home and I just didn't bond with her. And it was so hard for me to like want to take care of her just because there was no connection. I felt like this is not my baby. Like where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? If y'all don't know that reference, no, I'm just kidding. but but yeah, it was just really really hard for me. And I remember because with Aki, sorry my voice, because with Aki, I remember I didn't wake up my husband. I wanted to every two, I'm there. I'm the one taking care of her. But with Anna, it was a struggle for me to get up to feed her every 2 hours. It was a struggle. I would cry. I'd sit there and I would hold her and I would cry and like think like, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? It felt like a really, really dark time in my life. And at the same time, that was the time where it took me 5 months to heal after delivering her, which was the longest. Usually I'm like, it's like a week and I'm like, doing stuff that I shouldn't be moving too much, but I'm like, I can do it. But with with Anna, it definitely took 5 months that my mom ended up having to take care of me and really help me like nurture me back to life while I'm trying to nurture my own daughter. So like having my mom be able to be there and really like she really pushed me to nurse my daughter because with my oldest I tried but I gave up at 2 months. So with Anna, she really really encouraged me a little bit of like like I'm like I can't do it. She's like, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I'm like, making a formula. What are you doing? Put it away. Okay. But now when I look back, I'm so thankful. And at the same time, because Sally was nursing Samson, and Sally was like, too easy, and I'm like, how do you do it? Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, I'm over here. And Sally's just like, la, 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 la. Like, nursing was just like, at that time, when I look back, I was like, when I looked at Sally nursing Samson, it was just like to me when I looked at her, it was like ABCDEFGHI. It was like nothing. Okay. And I'm over here making formula on the side, and my mom's like, put it away, you can do it. Okay. And I'm like, I don't get no, you can. Okay. And so I'm just very thankful that my mom was able to really, like encourage me and tell me you can do it. Okay. And then also having Sally there to really me. And that was really what grew my bond with Anna. Then I was finally able at 5 months. This is 5 months after. It took a long time for me to really bond with her. And once we were able to bond and I was able to see like, wow, like we had that connection from nursing. Oh my gosh, it was just such a different feeling because I didn't have that with Aki and having it with Anna and just I was just so yeah, exactly. And I was just so grateful because then I was finally out of that funk. I was in that funk for it felt like a long time. Like I said, 5 months. Because at the same time, the 5 months I'm healing, my mom's taking care of me and I'm trying to take care of my daughter. So 5 months of being in that funk and finally being able to come out of it, but also having the encouragement of my sisters and my mom and just having my mom there to really take care and nurture me back to life is what really helped me get out of the funk.
We get it, girl.
Yeah.
We get it. Your mom saved your life. I just want to emphasize because you said like how mom pushed you, even though you were trying to do the formula, and mom pushed you to breastfeed because she said you can do it.
Yes.
I also want to emphasize she did that because she knew how important it was for you to breastfeed.
Yes.
That was your goal,
Yes.
and you wanted to do it, and you made sure, and you let us know verbally. You always told us that is a goal of yours, and so mom pushed you because that was something that you wanted to do. With me, going into postpartum, another thing was because I could not breastfeed my oldest. Every single plan that I had for myself becoming a mom went out the window when I actually had a baby. I wanted to have her naturally. I actually had to have a emergency C-section. I wanted to breastfeed all my children. I couldn't because I had to be on drugs for a long time after I gave birth because I was holding on to life. I was living on a prayer, y'all, on the first baby, okay? And so I couldn't breastfeed because of all the medications that I had to take. And it was my mom who encouraged me, and she said, "You know what? Fed is best. Fed is best." And so even in the hospital when I asked for, because they give you formula, and the nurses were telling, we're trying to, we're trying to encourage me breastfeed, which I understand because, they say breast is best and we say fed is best. And okay. But because of just being so weak and it already taking a toll on my body, and my mom just giving me that encouragement and almost like approval to for myself as a mother to know it's okay, because my mother breastfed all of us.
Yeah.
My sisters breastfed, except for Sally, because Sally was an independent girl. But anyway, so for my mom to come and tell me it's okay to you can give your baby formula, your baby needs to eat, because when they would weigh Bulisi, she was losing weight. And so mom was like, no, you need to give her food so she can grow and you can heal. And so my mother also encouraged me in that way, in the same way she encouraged Kim to continue to breastfeed. She encouraged me and let me know it was okay. All the idea that I had in my mind of a mother and breastfeeding, and maybe like, okay, I don't want to do formula. Well, guess what? I'm a formula girl. All my babies formula fed. Okay. And so, and my mom telling me that's okay. And that's what I love, is because that's another thing that helped me get the funk out, was my mom just being encouraging through those times and coming alongside me, not as this is what I think you should do, but hey, this is your journey. How can I support you while you develop your own journey and you become a mom? So she was really, really wonderful support during that. Yeah. And then for you, Sally, with Kim saying, you just got right into motherhood. And I know that's totally not the story for you, but you definitely do make it easy. And I know that a lot of that comes with just the like all the literature that you really took in when preparing for the birth and all of that. If anything, I think you were the most prepared out of us, book wise, like reading and research wise. So, but I know that you still have your experience of your own. So take us through that.
Yes, so I was definitely older when I had my first child. And so, yes, I read all the books. I watched all the YouTube videos. At this time, there was so much information that was available at your fingertips. So I definitely took advantage of those things. And having Samson, there were some things that didn't go to plan. Like I did have to be induced. I had to be on Pitocin, but I still held on to no epidural, just because I myself wanted to experience what mom had to experience, what grandma. We talked about this on another one of our podcasts. And so when I had Samson, when I read all my books and everything, I didn't really read on breastfeeding. I thought it was going to be such a natural thing. It's going to be a breeze. Like, it's a natural thing. I'm going to know how to do it. Like Kim said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, that's what I thought. It may have looked like that to Kim, but it was not that for me. And so with having Samson, I also did not prepare for the postpartum feelings that I was going to have. I didn't know the things that I was going to feel. And then once I started to, the thing is, when I had Samson, normally you have a lot of support and a lot of people that want to be there for you. But for some reason, I shut out all the support. All the support that was offered to me, I shut that out because there were just a lot of things, a lot of beliefs that I had in my own head of certain things. Yeah, Kim keeps saying independent girl, but I want, maybe not. Okay, I think it's just stupid. Whatever thoughts I had was stupid. Even though I was older when I had a kid, I shut out all the support, and I know my family would have to text me to see if they could come over, because that is the extreme that I was on, like shutting out support. I don't know why I did it. But I really wish someone could have just continued to push me to just show up anyways. But I was not in a good mental space at all after I had Samson. It may have looked that way, but I was not. I was on a high after I had him, like a natural high, having him naturally. But when I got home and as the days continued to go on, I realized I found myself dreading when the sun disappeared. As soon as the sun disappeared, in my head, I don't even know how to explain the feeling, but it was something that I did not want to. I wanted to fast forward the night because I could not handle it. And because I shut out the support, I it was really tough for me to handle that first time postpartum experience. But then later on, like years after, then I got to talk to my siblings about it, talk to my mom, and she was like, "Oh, I thought you just didn't want." I was like, "No, I wanted you guys to come, but there was just so many things in my own head, the own things that I was having to battle." And then also postpartum rage, as Anna explained earlier, that she was having, because she couldn't have that really bond with her child, and then all of a sudden she's just angry, and just all of the changes that your body goes through. Your body went through 9 months of building this baby, and then bam, you got the baby, and now it's like, but I just remember having to, for me, I feel like I just had to snap out of it, unfortunately, because my husband was working at the time, and I think even to him, I was shutting out everybody, like even my own husband. But it slowly, thankfully, I went back to work. I think that was the best part for me at that time, was going back to work after 6 weeks. And allowing my siblings to, they were my babysitters, and so they would come early in the morning. Anna was driving from far away just to come watch Samson so I can go to work. I didn't want to be apart from Samson, but at the same time, I felt like I needed to get out of the house. And I think this is the only way that I was able to allow the support to come in. And because of that, I was able to get back into a better mental space, started exercising, which really helped me get out of the funk, started eating better as well, because when I had Samson, I would literally not even eat either. I was like, I'm just going to feed this baby, breastfeed this baby, but you really need to have proper nutrition to feed your own baby. And so that was my story with my firstborn, and then once realizing those postpartum things, I tried to do better each time I had a child and prepare for that postpartum period. So for you guys, for Anna and Kim, they shared that they had that support person, like Anna with Ben, being able to recognize those feelings that she had and saying, hey, that's normal. It's gonna pass, and then Anna just feeling validated by, this is fine, my body's going through these changes. And then for Kim, having my mom there to support her, and then you guys getting to hear my story on how I shut out everyone, which is not okay. And if someone is shutting you out in this time, like if you have a personal close relationship with them, yes, and they're shutting you out, then maybe you really do need to check on that person. Getting out of the house for me was the thing that really freed me in that. Do we have any other advices we would like to share with other moms, or any expecting moms, or maybe even friends of a mom? What advice would you have?
Well, one thing, an advice would, because you just spoke about how when you had Samson and you shut everybody out, and you were going through that whole thing, and you didn't know how to allow yourself to receive support, and then you took yourself to work. That is why I drove from far away. Like, that's not a secret that you're going through it. Maybe Kim thought you looked easy,
She's saying I'm doing
but that's why I drove from far away, and I had kids of my own. And I came and I drove every morning. It's like almost an hour commute, y'all, with traffic. Driving every morning to come and see this little baby and spend time with this baby, because I know that this is the only way that I will have time or access to Sally and her kid at this time, because Sally's very special. You guys have to know Sally at that time. Sally's very special, and you have to be, and sometimes we have special friends in our lives and people that we care about, whether it's your sister, whether it's your mom, whether it's your friends, close family. And special people require special circumstances and special handling. And those boxes that say fragile and it says like special handling, that's Sally, okay? And so those are the things that you have to make sure that you are handling the situation in a way that respects the boundary, but also in a way where you can slowly gain ground on, okay, girl, I'm coming in. I'm coming. So this was the way for us to do that, was to okay, yeah, I'm gonna come and watch him. I'm gonna wake up super early to make it there by the time you go to work, because you work early, because you want to work the morning shift, right? So I have to get up super early, drive over there. Like, oh yeah, it's fine, girl. But it's a whole bigger purpose, and the purpose was, I see you, and I'm gonna support you, and in the way that's comfortable for you, and also in a way that we don't have to talk about what it actually is. You can think you're going to work, and I'm watching the baby, and we can call it that. We don't have to call it anything else. We don't have to label it. Okay, so yeah, so show up in the way that they need, and and when you really know your people, then you know how to show up for them. Kim, you just come, open the door, walk in, don't even knock, invite yourself in, make a cup of coffee, grab the baby from the room, and don't even let her know you're there. It's like, that's Kim. So that's exactly the way to support. And I know with me, because we're speaking about how our first introduction to postpartum. I know with me, I experienced it also with my last born, my son, which was very different from my first, because this was a pregnancy I was so looking forward to. I enjoyed the entire pregnancy. I enjoyed the birth process. I was excited to see him, excited to take him home, my only son, just to get home and start crying when the sun went down, which is what you spoke about. And it's the same thing. This is the happiest moment of my life. I finally have a boy. My kids are welcoming this baby boy. My husband has his son. I'm so happy. I'm this should be like every day is a celebration. But no, every day I'm crying. I'm crying holding this baby. I love this baby so much. I had the instant relationship with him. And so it just goes to show that postpartum depression, postpartum rage, it doesn't discriminate. Whether you're enjoying the pregnancy, you don't welcome the pregnancy, you're whatever it is, you enjoy the birth, you don't enjoy the birth, you read the books, you don't read the books, it doesn't discriminate. It's just your body going through it, man. And so I just remember crying, sitting there holding him, feeding him, crying, and feeling so alone. And the people that I love are next to me. My husband is next to me, and I'm just crying. And I remember him looking at me and asking me, why are you crying? Like, what's wrong? And I'm crying. I'm telling him, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn into the Hulk because I'm so angry that I don't know why I'm crying. Okay, it's just hate that feeling. But just to know, the thing that helped me with my son that time around was just, while I was crying, knowing it. Let me cry. Let me get these crying days done, because it's just my. Well, that's how my approach to it was, like, let me cry and get this over with. Get this over with, because I need to get to the other side of this. This is just, yeah, it will pass. It will always pass. And the things that helped me during that time was because my sisters would provide support for me. Kim, she would come over, like, girl, let me clean your room, let me clean your area, let me come and hang out. What are you guys cooking? And it was just having to worry about something else than think about myself is the thing that helped me get out of it. Because now, okay, Kim's coming, what am I going to cook, what am I going to do? Okay, she's coming with the kids to hang out. And so that just took my all the attention off of me and my feelings and my situation, and just put it on something else. And at that time, Sally just always bothering with, how's the baby? This is a fact. That they came out with this new kind of stroller. This is, Sally always had, information on the ready. Okay, for anything that you needed to know about babies. So having that noise is really good, so that you don't just sit alone in your thoughts.
It's so important not to get lost in your thoughts. Like, once you notice yourself doing it, like,
Get out of it.
get out of that
Go
funk.
run errands.
Yes.
Take a walk. Go run errands. Take a walk. Make something good for your body to eat. Yeah. Go exercise. Call a friend. Talk to somebody. Talk to God. Like, maybe that one. Let's move that one to the top of the list. Okay. Forget everything else I said. Just talk to God.
Yes, that's the most important one, because that's what I had to do with my second child, because I had postpartum in the form of wanting to stay in bed. Like, the baby's right next to me. Like, it's just, I feed her, I lay back down, and Kia is taking on watching the other two, and he's allowing me to stay in bed, thinking like he's so sweet. He's being so helpful, but I had to eventually come out of it and let him know, hey, the reason why I'm staying in bed, like I just want to stay. Like, Lord, take me in this bed. Like, let me go.
I'm done.
But it was like a weird funk that I was in, and so then I was like, you know what? No, what I need to do is stop all the other noise, and open up my Bible and read God's word and see what He says, so that I can, what is that other word? Refute the other beliefs that I have in my head right now, which are just things that just, nonsense that just comes up, just creeps up on you in your most vulnerable state after having a child. But Kim, do you have any advice for any friends? Maybe any encouragement?
Friends or moms or
I think you guys hit it right on the head. Basically everything. Good support system, um, exercise, nurturing your yeah, get some sunlight. That alone helps me a lot. Just get out my house, sit there. It's a good day. Instead of, staying in the house all day and it's like, why does the day suck? Go outside. Roll in the grass. Roll around in the grass or something.
yeah.
Obviously, we love the grass because we talked about the grass last time. Get out and touch the grass, touch the tree. But I am so excited that Kim is going to be having this baby. For the first time, I'm not pregnant with her because the last two pregnancies, we got to be pregnant together. So I couldn't really show up for her in the way that I would like to, like making her a delicious meal. Those postpartum meals come in handy. Feed your expecting mamas, or especially everyone. Kim is high energy right now, but during pregnancy everyone's feeding that mama or feeding that family, but definitely in postpartum, that is the time to focus on mama. Grab that baby, feed the mom, and man, I cannot wait to do the same for Kim. When she has this baby, I'm gonna be over with all my children though, so we're gonna be having a party in the backyard every day. So Tiaki, get ready because you're gonna be seeing a lot of me coming to love on this baby. I told Kim I was gonna do a lot of skin to skin so he can bond with me.
Me too, because like Kim said, with her second oldest, that she was out like a light, and so I was the one doing the skin to skin, and it's so funny because we really bonded. We really bonded. She was my little baby. She was my koala, and she would listen to me. She would always want to be with me. Like, that's my baby, okay? And then Kim, it's so funny because that was the one that Kim had trouble with, and now that's the one that never leaves Kim's side. She's always with her mama. She's always FaceTiming her mom when we're out and about. She can't ever leave her mom alone. So even though we had those things that we felt like, why can't I love my baby the way I should? It's so funny because now, no. I'm in my mom era. I'm in my mommy bag, okay? I'm really like, I could never imagine, all of us, speaking for all of us, we cannot even imagine our lives with these tiny little humans who have only made our life richer, better, more exciting. Now, when I think about life without kids, I'm like, I feel so sorry for them because that sounds so boring.
I know, really.
It's so boring. I mean, I'm only saying that because I'm on this side. If I was on the other side,
I know, but like,
it'd be far from boring. I'll be on a trip. I'll be here, there, everywhere. I only have to see it now because I'm a mom, okay? So please don't be offended. But my mommies know. My parents know. Kids just make life so much better.
Right. Two things can be true at the same time. Yes, it's hard work. Yes, there are days where you just want to pull out all your hair. No one's listening to you. But there's also on the other side, it is true that they just give life such a brighter meaning.
Yes, exactly. And kids make life so much more colorful. They really paint your life in all the colors that you've never seen before. They make you stop and notice colors that never existed. I mean, look at the wall behind us. My kids chalked it up, okay? They took their chalk and they really went to town on each brick. I mean, they literally colored my life and everything in it. And that's just how amazing that they are. They're amazing. The time that I went through postpartum is so worth it, even though I went through that time where I felt alone and it felt like forever going through it, but it was worth it to get to the other side and to really enjoy life. I'm talking about life, like the life that you created. You really enjoy them in that way. So like we said, some ways to get out of the funk, to get the funk out, is to go exercise, take a walk, do something that's good for your body, even eating what you're putting into your body to fuel yourself, to fill yourself up, fuel yourself. um because you, especially breastfeeding mamas too, to fill yourself up with good stuff so you can feel good and you can pour out good stuff. Talk to a friend, connect with your moms in your local groups, in the local community, in your church, even online. And that's what's good about social media. Use the advantage that social media gives us. Connect with mamas out there. There's so many mom groups that I'm a part of, that I'm so glad for the mamas in there that are going through things, that have a community to come and say, hey, me too, I felt like that too, I went through that too. And so um sorry, I just got distracted because our kids are all here and they're making a lot of noise. Today is our barbecue day, so they're getting the party started early. Yes. So that's another thing. That's another thing, is to get together with your people. Get together with the people that you love. Even if you're not having barbecue, you're just getting together just to like fellowship and hang out. Do that. Do that. It's always good for my soul. It's always good to me whenever I get to hang out with the people I love. It refills my cup every time.
Thank you so much, Anna, for that. Again, we really encourage you to seek support, find ways that you can connect with others that are going through the same thing, and know that you're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing, is that you're not alone. Even to the point where you may have to seek therapy, then take that route. You need to definitely. This is a trying time. This is a new leaf that you're turning, especially for any new mamas that are watching this, or any expectant mamas, or friends of those who know someone who's a mom. Like, really take that time in their postpartum period to show up for them in any way that you can. We thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of
What Anna Said podcast.
If you have any oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, let's just say bye.
Just keep it. No, just keep it. If you have any.
If you have any questions, any topics that you would like us to discuss, please comment them down below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're following us on at What Anna Said Pod on Instagram, please leave your comments there. Send us a message. We would love to connect with you guys and cover it. I'm so sorry. There's a lot of coffee this morning. It's time to clean. Thank you guys. It's time to
get this party started, okay?
We need to mow the
People are about to
grass.
show up.
Thank you for watching this episode. What Anna Said podcast.
Bye.